Alright guys, today I'll be discussing what will actually happen if this Mach 400 foot extreme spinning coaster actually gets built at Six Flags Great Adventure as the Kingda Ka replacement. Now this is not me saying this is going to happen. This is not another video with me predicting what's going to happen in Kingda Ka's spot. This is just a hypothetical. What will actually happen if this gets built? And I want to point out that ML Designs created a pretty accurate looking representation of this with Kingda Ka, which I gotta say I absolutely love that name. If this happens, I really want it to be called Kingda Ka, and that POV is what I'll be showing in this video. Now, I will say this will probably not be the actual thing. It will probably have some sort of different variations, whether that be profiling, maybe another element or two besides just what it has right now. This will probably not be the exact same thing, but it probably will be similar if this is what they go with. So the first thing that I know would happen is a lot of enthusiasts would get really pissed. And unfortunately, that's kind of already happening with this concept. And I don't know why enthusiasts are complaining this much. I get it. Like, I've talked to a few people that say, oh, I get motion sick on spinning coasters, which in that case, fine, but like, I hear some people saying this won't even be as intense as Kingda Ka and as extreme, which is absurd to me because this would be one of, if not the most extreme coaster ever built. I mean, obviously with the exception of the terrifying triplets, but like, nothing's gonna ever be as extreme as those, let's face it. And I'm gonna say it right now, if Great Adventure builds this, they will probably regret it. Because I have a feeling nobody's going to want to re-ride this except the few enthusiasts like me who think it's the best thing ever, one of the best things ever at least. But the majority of people, even enthusiasts, I feel like will think this thing's just way too much. They're going to get off it and say, yeah, I can't do that for like another hour. Like pretty much everyone can marathon Kingda Ka. I have a feeling you are definitely not going to get that with most people with Kingda Ka or whatever they're going to call it. Which I think Great Adventure is definitely not going to like. How low of ridership this thing actually will have. Part of that might be because of capacity, but also I just don't think many people will want to ride this period, and then the people who do definitely won't want to ride it again just because I think the spinning and everything this ride will have to offer will be too much for a lot of people. But let's get into why that's the case. So you'd start off with a pretty good launch, nothing too special. Should feel a lot like Ride to Happiness's first launch, I assume. I haven't been on it, but I assume it's like that. And then you'd flip up into the stall with a launch. This element is being slept on way too much. When I hear people talk about this ride, it sounds like they just overlook how good this launch will be. And they say this ride really won't have even close to a worthy replacement of Kingda Ka's launch. But this thing, I'm telling you, is going to be ridiculous. Dododonpa obviously had the most intense launch ever created. I think this could beat it. Obviously not in sheer strength of the launch, but in terms of how insane it will actually be to be not only spinning, but stalled upside down throughout this. I said it once, but I'll sort of explain my logic here. It just won't feel right. Getting hang time like this, just completely free-limbed, just completely out of the seat, especially if you have a little bit of room, and then all of a sudden hitting a second gear and just getting pinned to the back of your seat while you're out of your seat. Like, no one knows really what that's like. And you add that with the spinning aspect, you're going to be experiencing some great laterals throughout this too. So you're just going to be completely pinned to the back of the seat while you're upside down and experiencing hang time, while you're getting good laterals. You cannot comprehend how good that will be. I can't even comprehend it because I don't know what it's like, but just using logic, it sounds like one of the all-time great elements. After you whip out of that stall and, who knows, maybe you get some good airtime like you do on Air Force One out of that stall, you're going to hit another set of boosters really getting you up to that top speed to get you up this tower. Now, the way ML Designs has it set up is he actually uses some of Kingda Ka's currently existing top hat, which, I don't know, that'd be interesting if they actually use it for that purpose. That would be really cool and definitely give it a cool look in the skyline. The pop into this in the front, I imagine, would be pretty good. And this is definitely a front row ride. Do not go to the back on this. Everything about this looks like a front row ride. Doesn't matter which way you're facing out of the station, but definitely you want to be at the front of the train. Because you're going to go up into this spiral, and you're going to start facing outwards. And it's going to be nuts just looking out over the edge. It'll almost have like a Falcon's Flight effect here. And you're going to be spinning, so you could get some laterals while you're being thrown over the edge. It should be a really cool moment. After this, you'd start coming back, and before you know it, you're heading down probably the best moment on any coaster ever. And that is this gigantic 400-foot drop. This thing looks bonkers on all sorts of levels. Not only are you spinning, so you'll take this in some sort of weird direction, sideways, backwards, all sorts of things that you just can't even imagine. It's going to be 400 feet. You guys don't realize how good this will be. Take Ride to Happiness as our Time Traveler's first drop, for example. A lot of people say those are some of, if not the best drops of all time. And those are a quarter of this size. It is mind-blowing to think that some people think this will just be a mid-ride when it has an element that insane. But the cherry on top is the profiling. And who knows if it's actually going to be profiled like this, but both in ML Design's renderation and those pictures from the surveys, it looks like this thing could have a Skyrush T-Express type kink in the middle of it. And that would just be nuts. Say you're starting to levitate out of your seat sideways, and you just get like a little pop of ejector there. Nothing too special, it's like Skyrush. But then, like, halfway down or just before you hit halfway down, when you're already floating for an insane amount of time in this weird direction, you just get launched into oblivion, and you guys don't realize how intense that Skyrush kink is until you actually ride it. If you haven't ridden it, then you don't know. But if you have, which I assume a lot of you probably have, you know that that's insane. And just picture that on a much more extreme scale and with spinning seats. It's just, wow. I can't believe some people don't even think this would be better than Kingda Ka. But your ride's not over. Yes, you will be trimming after this, but you're going to hit a stall after it. So you kind of want to be trimmed because you're going to get some really good hang time and you'll be spinning throughout this. And that's going to be a really weird feeling, trimming on a stall. I assume it might feel like the opposite of the launch where you kind of get thrown forward a little bit, which would be really cool. And again, you got the laterals and everything. It's amazing. And then you hit the brakes. Oh my god, this ride really needs to be talked about more positively. I know you guys are disappointed that Kingda Ka is not coming back in its same form, but if this actually happens, this will be the best ride in the park. I can say that right now. And I am a big El Toro fan. It's a borderline top 5 coaster for me. So let me know what you guys think of Spin to Ka and the whole idea of this mock extreme spinner coming to Six Flags Great Adventure. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.